When Windrush and the Crows heard this, they were so furious that they intended to throw themselves upon him and tear him to pieces. But Wndrfl laughed and cawed and stood in front of him. "Oh, no, no, no," said he, and seemed absolutely terrified. "What do you think that Wndrfl will say if you tear Thumbletot in pieces before he's gotten that silver money for us?" "It is to be you, Wndrfl, that's afraid of womenfolk," said Rush. But, at any rate, both he and the others left Thumbletot in peace. Shortly after that, the Crows went further, until now the boy thought that Smallland wasn't such a poor country as he had heard. Of course, it was woody and full of mountain ridges, but alongside the islands and lakes lay cultivated grounds, and any real desolation he hadn't come upon. But the farther inland they came, the fewer were the villages and cottages. Towards the last, he thought that he was riding over a veritable wilderness, where he saw nothing but swamps and heaths and juniper hills. The sun had gone down, but it was still perfect daylight when the Crows reached the large heather heath. Windrush sent a crow on ahead to say that he had met with success, and when it was known, Wndrfl, with several hundred crows from Crow Ridge, flew to meet the arrivals. In the midst of the deafening cawing which the crows emitted, Wndrfl said to the boy, "You have been so comical and so jolly during the trip that I am really fond of you. Therefore I want to give you some good advice. As soon as we light, you'll be requested to do a bit of work which may seem very easy to you, but beware of doing it." Soon thereafter, Wndrfl put Niles Holgerson down in the bottom of a sandpit. The boy flung himself down, rolled over, and lay there as though he was simply done up with fatigue. Such a lot of crows fluttered about him that the air rustled like a windstorm, but he didn't look up. "Thumbletot," said Windrush, "get up now. You shall help us with a matter, which will be very easy for you." The boy didn't move, but pretended to be asleep. Then Windrush took him by the arm and dragged him over the sand to an earthen crock of an old-time make that was standing in the pit. "Get up, Thumbletot," said he, "and open this crock." "Why can't you let me sleep?" said the boy. "I'm too tired to do anything tonight. Wait until tomorrow." "Open the crock," said Windrush, shaking him. "How shall a poor little child be able to open such a crock? Why, it is quite as large as I am myself." "Open it," commanded Windrush once more, "or it will be a sorry thing for you." The boy got up, tottered over to the crock, fumbled the clasp, and let his arms fall. "I'm not usually so weak," he said. "If you'll only let me sleep until morning, I think I'll be able to manage with that clasp." But Windrush was impatient, and he rushed forward and pinched the boy in the leg. That sort of treatment the boy didn't care to suffer from a crow. He jerked himself loose quickly, ran a couple of paces backwards, drew his knife from his sheath, and held it extended in front of him. "You better be careful," he cried to Windrush. This one was so enraged that he didn't dodge the danger. He rushed at the boy, just as though he'd been blind, and ran so straight against the knife that it entered through his eye into his head. The boy drew the knife back quickly, but Windrush only struck out with his wings. Then he fell down, dead. "Windrush is dead! The stranger has killed our chieftain! Windrush!" cried the nearest crow, and then there was a terrible uproar. Some wailed, others cried for vengeance. They all ran or fluttered up to the boy, with Wndrfl in the lead, but he acted badly as usual. He only fluttered and spread his wings over the boy and prevented the others from coming forward and running their bills into him. The boy thought that things looked very bad for him now. He couldn't run away from the crows, and there was no place where he could hide. Then he happened to think of the earthen crock. He took a firm hold on the clasp and pulled it off. Then he hopped into the crock to hide in it, but the crock was a poor hiding place, for it was nearly filled to the brim with little, thin silver coins. The boy couldn't get far enough down, so he stopped and began to throw out the coins. Until now the crows had fluttered around him in thick swarm and pecked at him, but when he threw out the coins, they immediately forgot their thirst for vengeance and hurried to gather the money. The boy threw out handfuls of it, and all the crows, yes, even Wndrfl herself, picked them up, and everyone who succeeded in picking up a coin ran off to the nest with the utmost speed to conceal it. When the boy had thrown out all the silver pennies from the crock, he glanced up. Not more than a single crow was left in the sandpit. That was Fumble with a white feather in his wing, who had carried Thumbletot. "You have rendered me a greater service than you understand," said the crow, with a very different voice and a different intonation than the one he had used heretofore, "and I want to save your life. Sit down on my back, and I'll take you to a hiding place where you can be secure for tonight. Tomorrow I'll arrange it so that you will get back to the wild geese."